So the much anticipated NBA playoffs are set to tip off, and I know the anticipation for us Raps fans are at an all-time high, with this season being a finals or bust. But before we check out our playoff bracket, gotta give a huge goodbye to the legends Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki, although they both looking like they can still continue, with the 30-point games in their final home games, and then Dirk with the double-double, and then Dwayne Wade with the triple-double in the final game of their careers. Still can't believe they're both going at the same time. And in Dirk's case, he was kind of forced to go, but we'll always remember those legendary runs they had. So on to the playoff bracket. No matchups were even surely decided until the very end except for Boston and Indiana. So down to the wire, we started on the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks took control of the first seed and didn't look back. They were even the best team in the entire league. So although the Detroit Pistons were able to hold on to the playoff berth, due to their struggle down the stretch, Dwayne Casey failed to match up with his former team, the Toronto Raptors, who they swept in the regular season. But now they got the Bucks, who swept them. And as I said, the Boston Celtics-Indiana Pacers matchup was lined up for a minute, but it was Boston who was able to grab home court advantage. They did take the regular season series 3-1, but both teams are pretty injury-plagued right now, so this one's going to be pretty interesting. For my Toronto Raptors, of course it's finals or bust. Guess you could say we're going in with confidence, but it's going to be former Raptor Terrence Ross and the Orlando Magic standing in our way first. And this was the team that handed us our largest loss this season. Plus they are also probably the hottest team coming down the stretch, so that's the team we definitely can't take lightly. The Brooklyn Nets ended with the 6th seed, after an important win over Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat in his final dance, and they'll be meeting the Philadelphia 76ers. And this head-to-head provided a couple close games and a season series split. Over to the Western Conference, where all the playoff berths were decided early but the seeds kept on shuffling. So the only sure hold was of course Golden State pulling away with the first seed. The LA Clippers put on one heck of a March Madness to try and climb up the standings, but still ended in 8th and is now matched up with the Warriors. The Houston Rockets had their 3rd seed taken away from them on the last day, so James Harden and his team will have to play on the Warriors side of the bracket. But first, their opponent is the Utah Jazz, who actually gave them problems in the early season. The Denver Nuggets ended their 5-year playoff drought while finishing 2nd in the West. They get the San Antonio Spurs right off the bat. All of their games were close ones, except for the one last week of course, where Coach Popovich got the fastest ejection in history. Otherwise, this one should be an all-out battle. And it was the Portland Trail Blazers who took that 3rd seed with a win in their final game. So they get a date with the OKC Thunder. And this one's actually my favorite matchup, because even though the Blazers have home court, it was actually the Thunder who swept the season series. So this matchup could be the most interesting. So with no LeBron in the East, and no LeBron at all in the playoffs for the first time in 13 years, who do you think will come out of the East? And will it be a Warriors three-peat? Most important question for me is obviously, will the Raptors make the finals or will the Kawhi experiment be a bust? So many questions and I can't wait to find out the answers. But let's sit back and enjoy the playoffs. And thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you'll tune in to the next episode.